Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Minds and Money online conference, the virtual edition. As we are all trapped with Corona, and we are doing today the mining pitch battle contest 3, gold and precious metals. And as a lot of our viewers know, we are doing this like Dragon's Den, or how we say it here in Switzerland, die Höhle der Löwen. And but we are much more polite than those gentlemen here to our contestants, and you will see them in a minute. The reason behind is very simple. We have $1 million each of our judges can invest, and they can also share it or split it with companies. And we're going to see at the end who's going to win and who's going to get the money, of course. And the format is quite easy. We have 3 minutes presentation of the companies. The first company has 20 seconds more because due to a legal disclaimer. And then afterwards, we have 9 minutes Q&A with our judges. And our judges are Warren Irwin, Chief Executive Officer of Russo Asset Management. Hi, Warren.
Hi.
Then we have Miranda Werstiuk, Corporate Development Director of OCIM Precious Metals. Hi, Miranda.
Hi, Jochen.
Hi. Then we have George Ireland, President and CEO of Geologic Resource Partners. Hi, George.
Jochen.
Then we have Dave Lotan, CEO of LHI Capital. Hi, Dave.
Hello.
Hi. And then we should have Tal Lomnitzer, Senior Investment Manager of Janus Henderson. I don't see.
Hi, Jochen, I'm here.
Here, there. Sorry, I didn't see that. There are too many screens here on that.
No worries.
Super. Okay, perfect. And we will move on with David Stonoforio, CEO and Director of White Gold. Guys, are you ready? Please set up the presentation. Fantastic. And then I would say, David, the floor is yours. 3 minutes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor to be here, to be able to present in front of such a distinguished group of judges here today. I'm going to give you a rundown of a company we're very excited about. Maybe I'll just do the presentation a little bit differently for the judges and present the opportunity like this. What would you think if I offered you an opportunity to invest today in a company that was guaranteed to make a major gold discovery, would go on to delineate almost 2 million ounces of deposit, which would be open pittable, over 2 grams, and in a tier 1 jurisdiction that could potentially produce over 100,000 ounces per year for 10 years with robust economics? This would be in a district that has a prolific history and has seen almost 20 million ounces of gold discovery in recent years, with a deep history of prolific placer production, and is still very underexplored. Alongside of this, the company would go on to tie up 80% of the targets in the districts, creating a true district scale opportunity totaling over 400,000 hectares. And doing all this, they would attract the funding of $100 million. This funding would largely be put up by 2 major mining companies, Eric Sprott, as well as the Power One Capital Group, one of Canada's premier mining merchant banks. The team running the company would be the same team directly involved in making all the recent discoveries in the district. The other notable discovery, less than 25 kilometers away from the company's flagship deposit, that will go on to be acquired by another major mining company for $520 million. And the same team believes that they're literally just scratching the surface of the district that has the potential to be a major mining camp in Canada, like the Timmins or Abitibi. And most excitingly, the company will continue to make multiple high-grade gold discoveries on other properties within their massive portfolio, proving this thesis. And if the story couldn't get any better, the local and federal governments will commit to kick in hundreds of millions of dollars to advance mining, exploration, and development in that district. This would drive research analysts to give the company a $3 consensus target in a much lower gold price environment. And for this particular story, you can invest today at 75 cents a dollar, which would be undervalued on every metric, whether you're looking at the ounces, the property package, or the new discoveries. That, in a nutshell, is the White Gold story. That's what the pitch would have been 10 years ago. Our partners are Agnico and Kinross, and unlike most exploration companies who would, have a dream to accomplish something, such as this, we are sitting here today with all of this already accomplished. That's a reflection of where we sit today. And arguably, I think based on the success of what we've seen, the biggest value creation opportunity is still lying ahead of us in this company.
Thank you very much. And now the judges, please, for questions.
David, how much cash do you have on hand right now?
We'll probably end the year with about $4 million.
Okay. And what's that next year? How is that going to be allocated next year?
That's a very good question. So we've just finished our 2020 season. We're in our interpretation mode here, which will be followed up with technical meetings with our partners and planning for next year.
Okay.
David, what's your market cap, and how do you attribute how the market sees the valuation here?
That's a great question, George. Our market cap's just under 100 million Canadian. There's different investors view the company differently. If you look at just our deposits, the 1.8 million ounces, we're trading at about just under $40 an ounce, which is a significant discount to what our peer group would be with a deposit at this stage in this type of a jurisdiction. And that gives no value to all of our exploration properties. Before the company acquired this asset, which was the Underworld assets, which Kinross owned, that rolled into White Gold for their equity interest, we were probably trading at, not too far off of market cap based on the exploration upside of our properties, the Sean Ryan story and the prospectivity of everything that was going on in the area. So I don't have a good answer. I know as a management and sort of the larger shareholder group, we sleep very well at night knowing that value is sort of embedded there, and we have all this exploration upside. But the market is, maybe there's too much going on to get full value for everything. But you guys are the experts and maybe have better perspectives on that in terms of what you think the market sees us or how they see it.
Hey, Dave, can you comment on logistics? Are there any access issues getting into your major property? What are the challenges?
So what I touched on was this federal and territorial government investment. And the big component of that is called this Resource Gateway project. They announced it in 2017. And the majority of that was where the government would pay to upgrade the existing roads, which are primarily gravel roads that are accessing the Placer Creeks. And that road in our part of the territory goes from Dawson right down into the Coffee deposit. Now, I think, construction of the road has not started yet. It's in the planning process. We touch base with the government regularly. It's coming along well. You've seen announcements in other part of the territory that they're moving forward. Had the Coffee deposit gone into production on Gold Corp's schedule, that road would be built now, which for us is a huge windfall because that just totally unlocks the access to all our properties. Right now, some are road accessible on these placer roads. Our main deposit, you can get there's an airstrip there. In the summertime, you can get barge access through the Yukon River, or otherwise, obviously, helicopter access. But we believe, if this thing goes to production, the road will be coming right there.
I'm just trying to understand a little bit of the history. Obviously, the Sean Ryan story is a very romantic story. I can see he's involved here. What is this the original land package? I'm a bit confused.
So what it is
injected
exactly that. So Sean had staked up the whole district in 2005 to 2010. Underworld had their initial discovery, which was the Golden Saddle asset that Gold Corp had acquired. Kaminak had their discovery of the Coffee deposit, and a whole host of juniors flocked to the district. Sean had entered into option agreements with all these different juniors. What happened was in 2012, 13, 14, when the majority of these juniors didn't have the early success, they couldn't get the financing from the market like a lot of juniors. Sean ended up getting the entire land package back, less the properties that had these major discoveries and acquisition on them. So going forward to, what his plan was, he wanted to assemble the entire package into one entity. And that's when he kind of came to us at Power One. We were sort of, very enticed by the opportunity to, own a district. We've been big investors in Yukon for a long time. Some other companies we still are today. And we brought that idea to the majors, realizing the uniqueness. And that's when Agnico came in from the very beginning to basically finance this 3-year, $15 million exploration program that Sean designed as surface level exploration, following up on his geochemical analysis that, he found to be so successful in identifying these mineralized systems.
Can you
That was
comment?
3 years ago.
So that was in end of 2016. when
Yeah,
White
no,
Gold Corp was
David,
created.
can you comment a little bit about what would really get us excited here? Like, you already have 100 million market cap. Like, what's
Yeah, so
the exciting part of it? Do you have the ability to take this to 3-4 million ounces, 5 million ounces? Are there other discoveries?
I think the way we look at this company is as a project generator. We have the package. Our team are explorationists. We're good at that early stage of the discovery cycle. That's where we want to focus. And I think as exploration investors, we think that's where you can get the maximized value for your shareholders. So we view this as being a project generator, right? So, if you look at the Golden Saddle itself, it's up to what it is in terms of ounces. It needs to now probably go to feasibility. That's going to take, whatever it is, 20 or 25 million dollars. I think we're at the point now where, who's going to sort of take that on or partner with us so we can do that in a manner that's non-dilutive. In this gold price environment, there's obviously lots of we have great partners. We're obviously discussing that thesis with them to move it forward. Calls are coming in from, the mid tiers. You have this near 2 million ounce deposit at surface in Canada. Like, why is this thing not a mine yet? There's a lot of options, but I think we need to start monetizing that, using that sort of capital to continue to fund our exploration in non-dilutive manners. And, if this is a district, we have decades of to go here, from starting literally at the surface.
So
If you've got decades to go, why don't you build a mine?
That's not, yeah. So we want to, we're not mine builders, but, we want to work. We have mine builders on our share registry, and, there's lots of interest to do that. So I think that's what needs to happen here.
So sorry, Warren, one quick question, David. So what do you take from Victoria Gold's experience?
They've did a lot of work in a different gold environment. I think, they've done a tremendous job. They're up and running. They've had maybe a little bit of teething pains here, but I think that's going to be a great project, right?
Yeah. David, can you talk about why perhaps you haven't been bought out this cycle? There's been this, 2020 has been a really, really good year for M&A activity. A lot of the majors, mid-tiers are gassed up with lots and lots of cash.
Yep.
I'm sure your shareholders would take paper. Like, is there something holding you back? Is there a big shareholders that's holding out for a really big price? Is somebody uncooperative? Is there a flaw with the deposit? Why hasn't it been picked off?
No, I think none of that. I think it's starting. I think we're in the earlier stage of this M&A activity. What you're seeing so far is no premium type work. We've been focused on our exploration program all year. We've shown the continued upside in the deposit. But, now I think it's time to start, maybe, focusing more on these different alternatives. But there's no specific reason. We're the largest shareholder group here. We want to do what's in the best interest of all the shareholders, right?
What do you think about the stalemate between Kinross and Agnico on your balance sheet, and whether or not having two large?
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, not a stalemate. Before the transaction was done, literally at the CEO level of those two companies, they agreed to cooperate, right? And now we're here, so we've done what we said we were going to do. The asset's grown from 1 million to 1.5 million ounces. Plus, we bought the little asset up the road, and now it's time to make some decisions. Is it a project big enough for both of them? Does one of them want to take it on over the other? Does it make sense for some other process to advance it? These are all the discussions that are happening, right now.
Well said.
All right, guys, 7 seconds. So I think that is okay.
Thank you, David.
Thank you very much, David.
Thanks, David.
Well
Nice
presented.
seeing everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so now time for decisions, time to spend some money. And please also, David, Robert and Brian, switch on again your screens, please, that we can see you. I will start in the order like I have you guys here. Warren Irwin, CEO of Rosso Asset Management, whom you want to give your money, please.
Okay, can I ask one question of one of them just before I can make a decision?
If you make it fast, because we are a little bit under time pressure.
What's your market cap, Greg?
About 130 million.
Wow, okay. All right. I'll make my decision if you want.
Yes.
All right, so I have $100 million. Sorry, $1 million.
Excellent. I'll take it.
Yeah, just buy the companies. It's fine.
All right. Yeah. Do you want some reasons behind my splits?
If you have like 1-2 sentences for each, is fine.
Okay. 130 million. That's too much for me. I look at this anyway. To look at the heaps, and by the time you factor in recovery and stuff, I'm not sure. Anyways, I don't want to pay 130 for that. On the first one, the private company, Robert's company, I have no idea what the market cap is and what I'd be paying for it is. And I'm always concerned about getting involved with family offices of people who aren't experts in the gold business, because sometimes it's really tricky to get a deal done because their expectations are way too high on value. Mm-hmm. And with respect to Brian, do I want to pay $25 million for a company with $5 million cash and some exploration properties in Timmins? Okay. I think for me, with $1 million, I'd give it all to White Gold, and I'd be on the phone every day to David, kicking his butt, telling him to go find some more gold.
Okay, super. Thank you very much. Then next one is Miranda. To whom you want to give your money?
Well, thank you all for your presentations. As a representing family office, interesting. We like to look further down the pipe, but if I had $1 million in terms of moving the needle, I would put it into privateer, just because the other groups, you have good cash on hand. You've got sort of bigger, broader strategies, and if we were trying to move the needle on a company, we would hedge our bets on privateer. We like be comfortable there. We've looked at opportunities there, so I would put into privateer.
Okay, thank you very much. Then George Ireland, President and CEO of Geologic Resource Partners. To whom you want to give your money?
I would put my $1 million into White Gold, and the rationale for that is one by one. As much as I'm intrigued by the privateer story, I really dislike thin vertical veins as an exploration target. There's a lot of money that needs to be sunk into them to get to a resource stage because of the drilling that's involved and the time frame that it takes to get there. The north end of Vancouver Island also gives me a little bit of pause just because of concerns about First Nations and environmental issues. In terms of GFG, again, I'm not sure I see the value of $5 million against a $25 million market cap for a piece of muskeg in Timmins. It's perspective, yes, but the valuation seems stretched. And in particular, the $5 million of cash won't go a long way if, in fact, Brian's lucky and hits something. That $5 million is going to be consumed pretty quickly, and it's going to be difficult, perhaps coming back for the second kick at the can. In terms of Silver One, Greg, I thought yours was a very interesting presentation, but the valuation at $100+ million to me seems very stretched. I also would have a technical concern about the encapsulation of the silver inside the crushed ore, and would really want to see the detailed metallurgy and mineralogy to understand how that liberation was achieved. Because if those heaps had cooked for 15 or so years under Kinross and they only got 50% recovery, that suggests that there's some form of tail that's impossible to get to. And hence understanding the crushing data would be really, really important. And you probably need a fairly significant test of the material to understand how that would work out. So coming back to White Gold, I'd probably put my money there because I think you've got enough kicks at the can that should the first program that you put forward not work out as planned. Yes, it might be a technical success, but you've got enough going for you that you'd have a second or third kick at the can, given the pedigree, the name, and the closology play that you've got.
Okay, super. So to White Gold, thank you very much. Then Dave Lotan, CEO of LHI Capital. To
Sure.
whom you want to give it?
Who am I going to give it to? Well, those are all good arguments, and I'm not convinced that we'll see a mine on the northern end of Vancouver Island anytime soon. Although I acknowledge Island Copper Mine was up there, and there's lots of geological prospectivity, but it's a little too close to in environmentalist country for me. But Robert, I wish you luck with that. Greg, I invested with you in Entree Gold when you were an OU Tolgoi area play many years ago, and had a pleasant experience. And I give you credit for that. But a lot of people want to find stuff in Nevada. It's a comfortable place to work, and it's an easy place to get a valuation when Eric comes on board. You've got a lot of valuation, and you don't need me. But you're doing great work, and you've done great work in the past. So best of luck, and thank you. Dave D'Onofrio, I like the White Gold valuation. I know Sean personally; he's very ethical, and I think you guys are doing great work, and you've got lots of opportunities there. But Brian, I'm a shareholder, as you know, and stewarded
I'm sorry, Dave. Can you speed a bit, because we are running out of time? We are live. Sorry.
I'm giving Brian $1 million.
Okay, super. Thank you very much.
But I'd probably split it in half and give half of it to White Gold.
Okay, good. Half and half. Super. Tal, what's your take? And I'm sorry, we are out of time.
I think for the reasons that have been outlined, I would go with White Gold.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to our contestants. Well done, well presented. And thanks to our judges here at Mines and Money at the Mining Pitch Battle Contest. Gold number 3, gold and precious metals. And we have a very clear winner. It's White Gold. Congratulations to David D'Onofrio. And yeah, unfortunately, the million is virtual, so you have to seek it in the real life. But I'm pretty sure you will get that. Yeah, thanks to all of you. Most important, Merry Christmas, stay healthy wherever you are, and enjoy some quiet days, and hope to see you next year at, I don't know, PDAC is not happening, but at one or the other occasion, hopefully, and we're gonna meet together and have a cold beer or a gin tonic. So all the best, thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know.